might not. This video probably won't be too long. Um, I just wanted to kind of cover what I was watching this morning or whatever. I think it's really good interviews, really good, like a history lesson as far as like what was going on back in the day, as far as timing and like some of the social political issues that was going on back in the day with the quote unquote on drugs, and I guess you could say like the black experience in America, with the inner city and all that. If you grew up in the inner city, you understand. So this all right, so this it's a documentary from 1988, right? And I'm gonna just skim through it and get my points on stuff. Um, Hold on. So you brothers get a chance, I need to to check this out. That's why I said on my one. That's why I said on Facebook and on one of my other videos, I was like, yo, nothing's changed. You know what I mean? Like crime, drugs, all that's been going on since the 80s. When I was a young kid, you know what I mean? 88, I was about 4 years old. Um, all through the 90s, of course, through the 2000s. So when you hear these people, especially millennials and Gen X, talk this crazy shit, talking about things weren't that bad back in the day, that's bullshit. Things were bad like that back in the day. It's just the fact, like now you got social media. You know what I'm saying? You got social media now. So, but yeah. So this is a documentary. Hold on, I'm about to probably start from the beginning, but hold up. Let me go through this joint real quick. So this is a 1988 documentary called Crackland, talking about Jamaica, Queens, and talking about crack and drugs and just like the inner city experience from people that lived in Queens or whatever, New York at the time. And to be honest, it was like kind of the same experience with people all over the country that lived in the inner city. So like the same things was going on in Baltimore, LA, Miami, New York. Oh, Queens is in New York, but nothing changed. Nothing changed at all. So I'm gonna start in the beginning. I'm gonna start in the beginning, just kind of get my commentary on stuff. And this is a real good documentary. It's about like an hour long. I think everybody should take a look at this just to see. And you'd be like, damn, things really ain't changed. It's just the way our police cars look and the way how people talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. So so yeah, people stretched out, dead, all that shit. You know, shootouts, all that. Nothing's changed. All right, so this is where things really change, right? So I'm gonna turn the volume up. So right here, like I already knew about a lot of this stuff or whatever, just doing history and just doing a lot of reading or whatever. So it was a New York City cop that was supposed to he was patrolled to give a witness some protection or whatever, sitting outside the car, well, sitting outside the house or whatever, and some young boys or whatever gunned them down. So you know, America being who America is, they're going back the blue. So the back the blue thing has been going on for a long time before it was even a term. You know what I mean? So not saying I'm anti-police or police officers should get killed or anything like that, but America always had an affinity of protecting police officers and holding police officers to a high esteem, even if they do some cruddy shit and been found doing illegal activities themselves. So some young boys ran down on a police car, whatever, killed the cop, and then it made national headlines. So that's when all the war on drugs stuff came in. Really was all of an anti-black campaign because you had white boys down on Wall Street getting high, sniffing coke, buying blow, doing what they do, but it wasn't really that. I guess you could say that wasn't the focus or whatever at the time. But I will say this: um, a lot of those white boys or even before I even say that, all the crack laws and the three strikes and all that stuff was aimed towards black people. You know, if you do your history, understand how Joe Biden authored, the crime bill in the '90s. You know, all the three strikes you're out stuff or whatever. A lot of that stuff was aimed at black people, and they were prosecuting crackheads differently than how they were prosecuting powder heads. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna get into this.
In passing news briefs. But this one last winter drew national attention. Patrolman Edward Byrne, 22 years old, was assigned to protect a witness whose house had been firebombed. A
Yep.
witness in a drug case.
So look, like from where I'm from, the firebombing, all that stuff, it happened. It happens now. It happened back in the day. Like nothing's changed. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed at all.
It was an execution, a message from the drug dealers that South Jamaica is ruled not by government, but out of the barrels of guns. Byrne's father Matthew is himself a retired police officer. He saw in his son's death a warning that anarchy is growing fast in America's neighborhoods.
For many years, we've all heard about the so-called
China
war on drugs. The drug peddlers are now telling us that they've declared war on society, and you and I are society. And now the question becomes, what are the decent people of the world going to do as a result of his death?
That speech struck home with Americans across the country and with the politicians.
One thing was sure, citizens cannot stop the drug war. The drug war, down with crime.
All right, well, Jesse Jackson, if you so-called civil rights leader, really just a puppet, government puppet. They'll pull this guy out the closet or whatever in order to kind of calm down black folks or whatever. Like the dude is just kind of empty suit, just like Al Sharpton. Like all these guys been around for a long time, and they do what they do, man. They're just actors.
South Jamaica suddenly became good campaign material.
You read about the execution of Officer Edward Byrne. You've read about the drug-related violence that's turning sections of our...
So George W. Bush Sr. was he was in charge of the CIA. He was the director for the CIA back in the day. Quiet as kept, man. He was the face of all the drug smuggling stuff coming in or whatever. They were allowing a lot of that shit to come in on boats, aircraft, all that. So he knew what was going on with the Contras and all that.
Cities in the combat zones.
My friends, the streets of America do not belong to drug peddlers and crack gangs. They belong to us. And we're...
But I'm saying, like I was saying earlier in the video, like, you had the white boys on Wall Street or whatever. They was, playing with their nose. They was dipping in the nose candy or whatever like that. But like a lot of this rhetoric or whatever was just really kind of aimed towards inner city black youth. Unfortunately, but I will say this, right? Because like I said, this when I make these videos, we talk about solutions. Nobody is putting a gun to your head for you to sell drugs, like sell poison to your own people. That's your choice. That's, I know people got to find a reason of survival and all that or whatever, but nobody's forcing you to live that lifestyle. You're choosing to do it. But like later on in this video, I'm gonna show like one brother. He actually was going to college at MIT as electrical engineering, and he came from a rough neighborhood. I don't know, if that brother wound up graduating or not, like anything like that. But he was just basically talking about like him separating himself basically from the people that he grew up with in that neighborhood in the time or whatever back in the 80s. So.
Going to take them back.
But in South Jamaica, the rhetoric is drowned out by another reality.
Jump out boys. We call them. We here in Baltimore or whatever, we I don't know if the young dudes still call them the knockers, but we call them the knockers. Like they just, they might suspect you of doing something illegal or whatever. So, that kind of would give them probable cause to stop you. Now, I've actually had that happen to me. Like one day I was going to on one of my homeboys' houses or whatever, and they kind of lived in a little rough neighborhood or whatever. I had my Benz though at the time. I had my silver one, right, and they stopped me. They was riding behind me in a fucking Nissan Altima or some shit like that, and they pulled me over or whatever, and was asking me like, "Do you sell drugs, this and that?" And I'm like, "Bro, I wasn't doing nothing like that back in the day, not like that back in the day." But I told the dude, I said, "Bro, listen, man, I make more money than you, man." And I had this ID, so I pulled my ID out to let him know like what type of time I'm on, if you get what I'm saying. Like, so he was like, he let me go and shit. So my homeboys, they was up the street and they was cussing him out and shit. Man, why the fuck y'all keep harassing this and this and that? Like, see, people don't understand like just the black experience. But yeah, we dealt with a lot of that harassment bullshit. Not me not doing nothing at the time. I didn't have no braids and nothing, clean cut, car nice, whatever. But you assuming that since I'm driving a nice car and I got jewelry on or whatever like that, then I'm obtaining this stuff illegally. I was young at the time, whatever. I'm obtaining this stuff illegally, but nah, I work hard for my shit. Don't lump us all in the same fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? So
For
continue.
2 years, the neighborhood has
Yeah.
been the target of a special drug crackdown program ordered by the New York City Police Department.
Yeah. Baltimore
Murders
did the
here
same
still
thing.
rose by more than 30% last year, an increase blamed on crack.
This is a 357. Do a lot of damage.
Yeah. They were
Right through the vest. These bullets go right through a police officer's vest.
there was hollow points back then.
In almost any corner, you can find business going on.
Everybody was doing the same thing, hustling. Nothing changed, man. Nothing's changed for over 40 years, man.
And here,
So I'm gonna pause this. So they interviewed this brother right here. He was a World War II vet, like my pops.
a two veteran and a retired postal worker.
Yeah.
Officer Byrne was killed right near here.
Yeah, about 4 blocks from here.
And what happened after that?
They set up a headquarters in the house that he was supposed to be guarding, and all the dope pushers moved over to this side of the street.
They just lifted up there.
And took up the equipment and walked right over here.
They must not be
Seen
there.
about a school.
Have they harassed the kids on the block?
Sometimes, yes.
Try to hustle the drugs too.
Trying to make the kids either be lookout for the police, or have the kids selling it for them. That's it.
Like I said in my other video on Facebook, man, nothing under the sun pretty much changes or whatever. You still kind of getting the same results. So you still got dudes in the city still hustling. You still got dudes knowing what they do. All that. Nothing's changed. That's all across the country, man. And this is back in '88. So when these, like I said earlier in the video, like when these millennials and these fucking Gen Xers and all this and all that be like, oh, our time was different. We was doing things different. It wasn't like how it was back in the day. Bullshit. Motherfuckers was out there hustling, killing cops, selling drugs, all that. Nothing's changed.
Because a kid can't get there any time. So what can he do? They have a kid make the deliveries.
Every time you hear this, what do you think? You've been in combat zones before. Do you ever think this is a combat zone too?
Yep. All night you can hear pistol shots, sirens.
There was a nurse shot not far from here.
My wife said she worked with her. 18 years my wife worked with that nurse.
Like I said, nothing's changed. Let me see.
The nurse who was killed, she was shot in a line of fire.
Yeah, according to line of fire.
Maxine Peterson was shot to death
Look.
last spring, apparently by drug dealers aiming for somebody else.
Yep.
Is your wife afraid?
My wife is very afraid of this.
Nothing.
She didn't want to be.
Nothing's changed, brothers.
Is that
This is from
separate?
the '80s. So when these motherfuckers be talking all this things was different 20 years ago, 30, man. It's never changed, man. Let me see something real quick. So they talked to a family right here in this
Here
video,
you are
this segment.
working a legitimate job, trying to raise your family, and you're trying to carve your own little niche,
Right.
okay? And here you have someone else who has absolutely no respect for you, no respect for your family, no respect for what you're trying to do, to tell you, look, this is the block I want, and this is what we're going to do, whether you
Let
like
me pause
it or
this.
not.
Let me pause it. Ain't this the same kind of verbiage that millennials say, Gen Xers say, baby boomers say about this new generation now? Oh, y'all don't have no respect. Y'all don't have respect for us. Y'all don't do this. Y'all don't do that. Yo, the generation, our generation and before us was doing the same fucking shit. The same stuff, man. So they, like I said, man, you know, the new subscribers, the brothers that, or the people that subscribe to my channel or whatever, when I was talking about, you know, my apology to Gen Z or whatever, and, you know, and the alpha generation, we failed y'all, whatever. Listen, man, we was doing the same thing. You heard what this lady saying right now. The guys was on the block talking shit. Yo, I'm running the block. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Gun toting, hustling, doing everything. This was the 80s.
The Tribbles have joined with a few neighbors, like Doug and Betty Evans, to try and reclaim their streets from the drug dealers.
Look, you want it? You take it up to the corner, not in front of my house. I will get outside and tell everybody, look, that house, this house, that one, and that one, they all belong to me. Don't stand here.
But wasn't that risky? I mean, there have been several people who spoke up, fighting back against the drug dealers who were hurt.
But that's true. You can't get hurt. But, you know, I think your neighborhood is what you make it, you know. You got to say something. If you got kids that, you know, like Ralph, go out there and tell those people to move on. Don't stand in front of my house and sell drugs. You got to do those things, you know. You could get hurt, but sometimes you just have to do that because there's only so much you can take.
Same rhetoric that these people talk about now, right? So this is a good video for y'all to look at. So I think it's the segment right here with the dude.
That's the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh no.
You know, if that's their house, they should be able to stand out in front of the house without getting shot at and all that type of thing. Nah, I don't think that's the way to go.
The Tribbles' older son, Lance, comes home for vacation. 2 years ago, he left South Jamaica to live with his grandmother and go to high school in North Carolina.
He just said, he said, Mother, it's just too much craziness. He said, it's too much. And he said, I can't even sit on my own step without having somebody walk by and ask me, are you working? Working meaning, are you selling drugs?
Yep, same thing. Same thing, man. Nothing changed, man.
A lot of it has to do with, I say, you know, the law enforcement. Look at it now. One set of people go to jail, the next set rise up, they go to jail, the next set rise up, the next set who got put in jail before come back out, knock the next peg back down, and here we go again.
Yep. Thank you, brother. My point. Made my point. All right, so this is the interview where they talk. So they locked the kid up. This part I'm about to play now. They locked the kid up that killed that cop. He was one of the suspects that killed that cop in South Jamaica.
Of Officer Byrne. 19-year-old Todd Scott was arrested along with 3 other young men, all allegedly acting under orders from a drug gang leader. Scott is awaiting trial. His lawyer agreed to an interview on condition that we ask no questions about the case. Scott would talk about the life he led growing up in South Jamaica.
A lot of people have never been in a neighborhood like yours. Tell me what it's like. Was it a good place, a bad place?
It was just like home, man. You know, it's the only place I knew about, so I couldn't say what it was good or bad. It was just home, you know. It was bad though. But that's the only life you knew, you know, being in the projects, doing whatever to be done in there.
Bad in the sense of.
So he lived in the projects, you know, got influenced, you know, got wrapped up into the streets, you know, probably came from a single family home or whatever, like most brothers, most young brothers now, right?
Drugs, shootings and all that, you know. Had to belong.
It's like being, belonging. You have to go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Do you remember when you first heard about drugs?
Yes.
How old were you?
I was like 10.
10.
Yeah.
Were a lot of kids making money from selling drugs?
Yeah.
Tell me how that would happen.
Well, if you see somebody driving a Benz or having money and having jewelry and stuff, you want to be like that. So.
Pause. So look, brother said you see guys with the cars, with the Benzes, with the jewelry, icy, whatever, with the big rope chains. Back then, dudes were with the big rope chains with the big rocky diamond rings. Same thing. They was influenced by that, so they like, shit. We want part of that. We want to make money too. And they got in the streets. Like I said, nothing's changed, man.
The only way to get it is go through fast money.
Fast money.
Fast money.
And that would be drugs.
Yeah.
How much could a kid make running drugs?
Like what? From like $250 to $500 a day.
250?
Yeah.
All right.
To $500 a day.
$250 to $500 a day.
The business.
So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna look at inflation, right? How much was that in American dollars now, currently? So we can understand. If I'm not mistaken, he probably was making maybe $2,000. Probably $2,000 a day. Our time period right now. Hold on. About to look this up. Let me look. Inflation calculator. So we got, oh shit. I'm on this computer, y'all. Hold on. So the inflation calculator. So this was 88. 1988. Dudes was making, let me see something. Let's see what we got. So 1988, right? He was saying they was making about $215. Let me see something. $250 to $500 a day. So I'm gonna do 500 and average in what year? 1988. What would that be in 20? All right, the average. All right, let's calculate. So yeah, I was about right. So about $1,200 some guys were making a day, hustling, selling dope.
Or does he have to be recruited?
You have to know somebody, or somebody to introduce you,
But was that hard?
No, if you knew the right person, it wouldn't be.
And who would the right person be?
A friend, a relative, somebody you know. You start out just working for a person and move your way up. Just somebody introduce you to somebody.
Same thing, man. Nothing's changed, bro.
To you, then they could put you in a bigger position right away,
What would that be, a bigger position?
Like a lieutenant or something.
What did it take to be a lieutenant?
You do good. You make a lot of money, the boss promotes you or something.
How much would it take how much would one have to sell in order to get to be a lieutenant?
It's not the matter of selling, it's like trust and loyalty, It's honor and respect. That's what it is. It's not selling.
All right.
Did you ever hold a job when you were in school?
Yeah, so I'm about to fast forward this or whatever.
Job I have was
pretty much made my point on that segment. So we got the little kids. So I think it's the dude right here that wound up going to MIT, but he came back to the hood.
What's that? You have to be an independent person.
Hold on, let me fast forward.
What's that? You have to be an independent person. You can't follow what everybody else does. I never had a desire to sell drugs. I mean, the consequences is either death or jail.
Gene Robbins grew up with Todd Scott just blocks away and went to the same school. Now he comes to South Jamaica only to see his family. He's a scholarship student at MIT, studying electrical engineering.
So this is serious right here. So and real this should be really motivational for brothers. Like MIT is one of the top engineering schools in the nation, probably in the world. And he got a scholarship to go there to that school, even though he lived in a bad neighborhood, even though, you know, like the one brother that killed the cop or whatever, they went to the same school and all that or whatever, and he decided to not go that path, right? Like I said, in these lives, man, we find solutions, we try to better ourselves, and we try to stay focused, you know what I'm saying? So even though with all the despair and crime and drugs and, you know, the new kick up of the war on drugs or whatever on black communities or whatever like that, this dude was able to stay focused, and hopefully he finished. Like, they never, with this documentary, like, they never really gave like an update on like the people that they interviewed or whatever. So, but he's gonna talk and give his kind of his point of view of what's going on.
Did many of your friends get involved in the drug business?
Some of them, not all of them. Quite a few.
What happened to them?
The ones that are involved in the drug business, a lot of them are in jail. Some of them are still selling. Some of them are dead. Third.
How did you manage to stay out of the business?
When I was in the 9th grade, that's when I started. My mother started making me and my brother go to church, which gave us some morals, you know. A lot of people around here don't go to church. They have no morals.
Why do you think those kids get involved?
Money.
You heard what he said? He said a lot of these people around here had no morals. So that's the same thing that folks are saying now. Oh, what happened to the morality and this and that? Like, yo, the morality was never there. The morality hasn't been there for over 40 years, man.
Plain and simple. Money. That's what talks around here. If you have money, you can do about anything you want. You know? I mean, that's all they think about. It's money. It's easy. It's easy, it's fast.
Not only easy, but maybe inevitable.
So I'm gonna show y'all something, right? They're gonna pause. They're gonna get on a couple of the brothers or whatever. And back in this day, at this time, these dudes are fresh. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna show y'all.
In the last decade, South Jamaica has lost more than 50% of its jobs. And nearly 25% of teenagers over 16 are neither in school nor working. Statistics from other cities across the country tell the same story we heard on the basketball court.
So how do you find jobs right here in the neighborhood?
Right here in the neighborhood.
Not in this neighborhood.
There are no jobs.
You may be able to find a job.
Unless you ain't working the soul food.
They want to pay you like $175 a week, but they want to slave you 12 hours a day.
So look, so the brother got on the rings, you know what I mean? The brother with the Houston Rockets jersey, the Hakeem Olajuwon jersey, he got the rings on, he got the 4-finger ring with the big nuggets. And then dude with the 76ers, you know, these boys right here, dope boys. You know what I'm saying? Dude with the 76ers jersey on or whatever, he got the rings on and all that. You know, they got the I think they got some Converse on or something like that. One guy, he got on the New York Yankees jersey or whatever. I don't know what the other brother got on. The other brother right here, he got on some like yellow t-shirt or something. But look, nothing changed, man. Just the years.
And when Gene Robbins comes home from MIT, he finds his two worlds growing even further apart.
Yeah, you know, take a chance with you.
I see that. I'm gonna go back.
And when Gene Robbins comes home from MIT,
Try to pause it.
he finds his two worlds growing even further apart.
Out here, you know.
See that? Yeah, he was out there getting it. He was out there hustling.
Take a chance with you till you take the chance with your life. Every day, somebody might just come up to you and say the wrong thing to somebody. They might pull out a gun and shoot you.
Like I said, nothing's changed. Same shit's been going on in the 80s. This is 88. Same thing's been going on in the 90s, 2000s, early 2000s, 2010s, and now 2020s. Nothing's changed, brothers.
What's the last time you all saw a gun around here?
Gun?
Yesterday?
I don't know.
Nah, I'm saying, but there's gotta be all these, my little sister look out the window and see a dead body across the street from my house.
So he got to pull out he pulling out the cash. Like I had a dude sit there and say, oh, well back then, you know, we wasn't flashing cash and man, listen, man. I don't argue with people. I bring facts. I don't argue with people. The same shit we was doing back in the day is the same shit motherfuckers doing now. Pulling out big stacks of cash, a little bit of stacks of cash, got the rings, selling drugs, doing what they do or whatever like that. So, you know, like I said, nothing has changed.
Well, I make it through the day or not. Shoot somebody randomly and not mean a thing. I mean, it doesn't even phase the mind. It's just like you shouldn't have messed with it. So.
Shortly after we take this scene, one of these boys was shot and wounded in the stomach and arm. The shooting was reportedly drug-related.
Like I said, nothing's changed. All right, so I'm going to fast forward through that. So the boy get hit up. All right, the no snitching thing, right? Let me just touch on that. So the same brother and the MIT brother, he going to talk basically, you know, talk about the no snitching thing, right? You're going to be like, look, I can't sit there and tell you what's going on like that, you know?
Accused murderer now.
All right.
As long as you mind your business, usually you're okay. But the minute you cross that boundary and you're cutting into somebody else's profits, that's when the violence starts.
If the folks around here knew about a drug-related crime, would they report it to the police?
That wouldn't be wise.
Why?
Because if you found out.
That's that no snitching thing. Still prevalent now, for the most part. All right? Nothing's changed.
Your whole family might suffer as well as you. And you want to take that chance?
Do you know of that actually happening?
Yes.
What happened?
Huh?
How did it happen?
I'd rather not talk about that.
He said, huh? He got that look like shit. I ain't gonna tell you shit, bro. So they can go up there and firebomb my house and kill my family and shoot me and kill me, label me as a rat. Nah, I ain't telling you shit.
Does it make you nervous sitting here in public talking about this?
No, because I'm not going to tell you anything that's going to get me in trouble.
No snitching. Same rules kind of apply, brothers. You know, the generations, you know, now do it. The generations back then was doing it, all that, right?
But you could get in trouble just by talking about drug dealers.
If anybody snitches on a drug dealer and they get found out, they're as good as dead. Or hurt, very badly hurt.
You heard what he said. Good as dead or hurt. Nothing's changed.
You get immune to the violence around here?
Yeah, because people have been shot.
Like I said, I had people on Facebook, oh, we didn't do. Man, listen, man, we was doing the same thing. I keep saying this over and over again, but I want like the younger brothers or the people that sub to my channel or whatever to understand, like, yo, nothing's changed under the sun. All the crime, all the no snitching, all the firebombing, all the police shootings, all the shootouts, all this and all that, like, the shit has not changed, yo. It's still the same shit going on.
Yeah, it's never gotten on the news. I mean, it's never been reported. People have died around here. And I don't know, I've never seen it in the newspaper or anything. I can say, you know how the government, I mean, let's say the city writes off some neighborhoods. Maybe they wrote off this one.
And yet I hear the politicians, the candidates, talking about the war on drugs.
The war's not here. I don't see it.
So there's a gap between the rhetoric and the reality of people's lives here.
Yeah, great gap. It's an abyss. A chasm, not just a great gap. It's a bottomless pit.
Same thing. If you came from that type of environment, you can understand, like, nothing's changed. Like I keep saying it over and over again, like, certain neighborhoods really don't get the same type of shine with the crime, with people getting killed, people getting kidnapped, you know, all that, the drugs, all that. Like, yeah, it don't make national news as far as, hey, this is an issue or whatever like that, but like, I know some people that got killed and that shit never hit the news, it never hit the newspaper, none of that. So yeah, he's
words more descriptive.
telling the truth right now.
The gap that I see.
This is the yearbook.
Yes, it is.
Show me the two kids.
All right, here is one youngster, Todd Scott, and here is Gene Robbins.
Two kids almost on the same row of pictures in the same yearbook from the same school.
One is claimed by the street, the other one goes to MIT.
Who's winning right now, the Gene Robbins or the Todd Scotts?
I would like to say the Gene Robbins are winning. I don't think the Gene Robbins are winning. And I say that knowing full well that I would be criticized for saying that.
It must hurt you to say that.
It does. It really does.
Same thing, nothing's
Ken
changed.
Burson is the principal of Gene Robbins and Todd Scott's Junior High School. A principal's day starts at the school bus door.
Let's go, let's go.
So I'm gonna see if I can get to the point where he talk about might not have this too long, but he talked about after school, like recreation programs closing down and all that. You still got the same issue. And then of course you had like the little
Any programs coming out of Washington?
yeah. This is something good to watch, even though it's old.
We get any attention as far as the politicians are concerned in outside communities. They
Right,
don't
see,
get
same thing. Politicians don't care about the community. They're not coming here. They just want our votes. You know, same thing. Nothing's changed.
they get my vote. It's the only time I see them. It's the only time I hear from them. Is when
He
they
said the only time I see the politicians is when they want my vote. Nothing's changed.
This past
Nothing has
February,
changed.
when Officer Ed Byrne was murdered not too far from here, we received a lot of adverse publicity. With all the focus and attention that we got, I had some expectation of having the drug situation somewhat cleaned up by now. You know as well as I do that hasn't been the case.
Steve Marston is the public housing manager at South Jamaica Houses, the project where Todd Scott grew up. When he urged tenants to pressure the politicians, he was given a warning by his
I was
superiors.
reprimanded.
Yeah, I'm sure you were reprimanded. All right. So yeah, the cops patrolling the projects. This segment right here, you know, he keep making repeat arrests. They keep letting the people go or the young youth go or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys check this joint out or whatever, man. I think it's good to watch, just to see like how all these people claim that things are different now, socially, right? That really hasn't changed. It's still the same thing. This is why that's why I made the video that I made. It was like a couple days ago. What about us failing the youth and all that? Because the same bullshit that we was doing or that we grew up in, we passed the same demons on to the youth. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's all I got for this video, man. Yeah, the name of this joint's called. Name of this documentary is called 1988 documentary Crackland, Jamaica, Queens. It came out with the Wayback Archives. Put it out 5 days ago or whatever. So I think this is good, something good to look at, just so people can understand. Really, nothing's changed too much. The only thing that really changed is the technology, as far as, you know, being able to broadcast and really show what certain criminals are doing. You know what I mean? You got certain criminals now, or certain people that's doing crazy shit going live while they do it now and all that. You know, that's the only thing that's different. We ain't really have a whole bunch of social media. There was no social media back in the 80s, of course. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.